Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. We've got a video today that's quite the opposite of our other tips videos that we've done. In fact, this is a don't do video. So before we get started, thank you those of you who have already subscribed to the channel. If you haven't yet, go ahead and scroll down just a little bit, hit that subscribe button for me and join this family. We've got tons of fun stuff we're doing here on this channel and it's only going to get better, so you want to be a part of it. Alright, now let's get to the video. So the first don't we're going to talk about is don't use toxic type wipes or cleaning products on your seats in your Model 3. Earlier, I went out to my car and I asked Amber what she was doing.
I'm wiping down the car like you asked me to.
Now, I'm going to be picking on my wife a lot in this video. Don't worry, she's in on it. But she had the Clorox wipes, and those are very toxic wipes. They're made for cleaning germs and all kinds of nasty stuff out of your bathroom and your kitchen. But you don't want to use those on your seats. It'll break down the material way faster, and it's just not good for them. Instead, here's what I do. In the back, I always keep baby wipes. I mean, hey, if they're good enough for a baby's butt, they're probably good enough for your car. So it's really easy to keep your car clean. Just keep a nice set of baby wipes in your trunk or under your seat and just pull them out whenever you need to wipe down your seats. I've had all kinds of stuff spill on my seats. Having 3 kids, you get to try out everything. And those baby wipes take it off no problem. So the second don't is don't shut your door from the glass. Notice here how when my wife is getting out of the car, she grabs the very top of the glass and goes to shut the door. That's obviously really dangerous for your car, but it's very easy to do because we come from vehicles that have frames around their entire window. We get out of the car, it's right at the level that you would usually just kind of push it shut from, and it's just natural. We've been doing it for years and years, so naturally when you get out of your new car, the Tesla, that's the first thing you want to do as well. But you've got to create a habit of getting out and putting your hand down and shutting it from the frame of the door and protect that window. So the third don't is this. Don't open your car doors with a manual door handle. This again is something that's very natural to do. When I first got in the car, when I was at the Tesla site down in California, I grabbed the door handle because I couldn't figure out how to get out of the car. And this happens a lot, especially you got to be careful if you have guests with you because they don't know where the door handle is. They're just got their arm resting right there like that. Like watch my wife here. It's just so easy to naturally go and pull it up like that. Tesla even gives us a warning on the screen warning us not to do that, stating that it could have damage to the window frame. So if Tesla themselves putting the warning right on the screen, that's pretty clear warning you shouldn't do that. So how do you help prevent something like this? You probably see them all over eBay, but they make these really nifty little stickers for them. And what they are is little tiny stickers like this. You take them and then you put them right on the little button that doesn't have anything really on it right now that says this is a door handle or an electric button to get out of your car. Put them right there and it says open door. And then when you got guests in your car, they know to just push the button and get out of the car. It's real simple, works great. Okay, and number 4 is, okay. Yeah, I'm just gonna do this one. I go back and forth. We're just gonna do it. You know what? Let's just cut to my wife. Hey babe, you remember to plug the car in, right?
Yes.
I know it's silly to remember to plug in your car, but the thing is so many of us are used to just driving home, getting out of our car, going into the house and not thinking about it. You gotta, first of all, get in that habit of plugging that car in because it's easy to say, well, I'll just do it later. But what happens is you wake up in the morning and you gotta get your work, gotta go to a doctor's appointment. It's not like a gas car where you go, oh shoot, I forgot to fill up in the morning, like I used to do all the time, and my wife used to do all the time, and just go and get fuel and then go on your way. It takes hours, 4 or 5 hours to charge that car up 100, 150 miles at home, okay? So you wanna make sure you get in a good habit. Don't park your car in your garage or wherever else without just going and plugging it in. You don't have to worry about it charging. Just make sure you set the schedule of departure and then plugging it in does not do anything to your car. It's not gonna continually charge over and over again. Just set the scheduled departure, plug it in, and don't get yourself in that silly situation. Okay, now don't number 5. Now, most of us don't charge outside of our home at night. But if you do find yourself having to charge at a hotel, or you simply forgot to charge last night because you didn't heed to number 4, don't, that we just talked about, okay, and you've got to charge at Fred Meyer's or somewhere else, and you plug up into one of these stations that is only going to get you about 32 miles, per hour that you're getting a charge from. One thing you need to be very aware of here not to do is to turn on your climate control. It's so easy to forget to turn it on because think about what we came from. We used to go to a gas station where you turn your car off, climate control goes off, no big deal. You sit there, it fuels up, you leave, climate control comes back on. But now you pull up to this charging place, you back on in, you plug it in, and you go get back in your car. You never turned it off. And so your climate control could still be on. Your lights, okay, could still be on in your car, your dome lights. Your front running lights could still be on. So just make sure you turn all those off because take a look at just how much lower here when I had everything running that my car was charging. 22 miles per hour being added to my battery rather than the regular 32 that is normally in it when I'm charging. So just a little tip to remember, it's not a big deal. It's just if you're sitting there and you don't want to sit there for an hour and a half, you'd rather sit there for, an hour and 20 minutes, just make sure you remember that. Okay, don't number 6 is turn on full regenerative braking. Now I know some of you are gonna say, Cody, that's a preference thing. You can't say that's a don't. I get it, okay? Some of you don't like the feeling of that. But what you don't like even more than that is buying brakes. Now there's a couple reasons for this. Obviously the brakes, like I said, you're rolling up somewhere and you have to be using the brakes all the time, just like your old car, you're gonna have to replace your brakes. This saves them. Never having to use the brakes is awesome. And that's a really great reason for using regenerative braking. And I know it's like, oh, I don't really like it, it's awkward, it's different. You know what, I highly recommend you just get used to it. You go out just a couple times driving and you will get used to the stopping power of it. So here's kind of how this works. I mean, with your old car, you would come up to a turn kind of like this, and you would obviously just put your foot on the brake and you would slow down and you would turn. But once you have regenerative braking on, all you have to do is let your foot off the accelerator just a little bit and you go right down to the same speed and then you just push down again when you're around the corner. It's really cool. So for the purpose of saving your brakes, I highly recommend you use regenerative braking, and here's how you turn this on. You go into your settings, you go into your driving setting, and then you turn regenerative braking on to standard. Then you go down below and set your stopping mode to hold. Piece of cake, and you'll be ready to go. Okay, now this next one is a little bit of advice from me, and that is don't set your phone on the center console. And here's why. Look at how big this gap is down there. I mean, look at my hand sliding so easily between the seat and the center console like that. You see your phone up there, all it takes is a sharp turn and boom, there goes your phone down between your seat. You're now sitting there yelling profanities at your windshield. Your neighbors are all looking at you funny. People are taking pictures at you from their car, and you now can't get your phone until you get to your destination or a very long stoplight. There's just something about this car that eats up phones, so put it pretty much anywhere but there. Save yourself a little grief. Now this next one stems back from when we did our car seat and how to install car seats video and all the accessories needed for that. But as I've met people who own kids, have children, they all have said the same thing to me. I had a lot of you guys comment about this in my video, and that is, do not put your car seats directly on the seats inside your Tesla. Those sharp car seats will indent those seats, and if you do it long enough, it'll permanently crease them. Don't do it. Like you can see here, all you gotta do is jump on Amazon, and for less than 50 bucks, you can pick up a seat cover like I'm showing here that I use in my car for my 3 car seats, and it's really like a dog seat cover, I think. But it works extremely well. Lay that on your seats, throw anything you want on them, and you're good to go. Now this next don't comes from a lot of different conversations with people, and it's something that is asked about a lot, which is in terms of your battery and how much you should charge it, how much you should let it go down. What is that kind of perfect range for it? Well, there is debates about whether you should keep it between 10 and 90% or 20 and 80%, meaning that don't let it go down less than 20% charge, don't let it go higher than 80% when you're charging it. I personally charge my car to 90%. I mean, as you can see here, that's what the range is set for in the app. It even says over that is for traveling, and that is what it's really good for, and you should not hesitate to use it if you're going to be traveling. But the reason for not charging it over that is twofold, over 90%. One is the more you charge a battery, the faster the battery breaks down, the health of the battery goes down. And to keep your battery lasting as long as possible, if you don't need the full range of your battery, just don't charge it up there. It's just real simple. How much it actually does impact the battery, I haven't yet seen something that agreed with another thing. We just know it wears it down faster. And so keeping it down to that 90% range or less seems to work good. Now the argument about 80%, I mean, hey, if you can get by with only charging at 80%, it's fine. I found that for me, even with a long range car, it just gets a little bit too close for me to that 20% range when I'm using it, driving at 100 to 150 miles a day. I would recommend that 10 to 90% range unless you don't drive a whole lot. Now, so that's the first thing. The second thing is it really messes with your regenerative braking. Now you can see here on my car that I have it charged to almost 100%. It's actually currently sitting at 97%. And you can see those dots on that left-hand side there all the way across my screen. And what that's telling me is that my battery isn't going to have hardly any regenerative braking. So I'm going to need to be using my brake a lot. And the car's going to run quite a bit different in terms of when I lift my foot off that accelerator. Which means, again, I have to now use my brake, which again is wearing down my brake. And so that's all fine if you're going on a long road trip. But if you're just driving around town and you're only going to use 100 miles of your battery anyway, why do that? Your car needs to get down to about 75% before you get full regenerative braking back. So charge it up to 90 or 80, whatever your preference, you're gonna always be just fine. Now this next one's kind of funny, and it kind of isn't, and that is, I recommend you don't put weights on your steering wheel. Now I know a lot of YouTubers have done this, and a lot of people try it. They put the orange on there, they put the water bottle on there, there's weights you can buy designed for putting it on the steering wheel. I saw one picture of someone here, I'll put it up on the screen, who put a rubber band on the steering wheel, and that's all funny to just screw around with. Your hands are there just kind of watching it. But don't when you see stuff like that, guys, don't take that seriously. These guys that are posting pictures of that, hopefully they're not actually really doing this and thinking they're gonna drive forever like that. Tesla is pretty clear that it's not ready for full self-driving, so keep your hand on the wheel like you should do. Be aware of what your car is doing, and don't trust to something that is not ready yet. Alright guys, so there you have it. I know a lot of that's really self-explanatory. I know a lot of that's kind of common sense, but these are things that people have told me they did and wish they would have known. So I said, you know what, let me take a bunch of these things and I'll put it in a video. Now also guys, coming to the channel, I am working on another video of actual tips for your car that you as the subscribers have sent to me. We've gotten so many really neat tips that I didn't think of when I made my first 3 tips videos. But in the new video, these are going to be, it's called subscriber tips. I'm going to give you guys credit. I'm going to post your comment where you guys told me about them. So anything you guys can think of that was a great tip that wasn't in my first 3 videos on tips, please post to me in the comments of one of those tips videos. I'll get it, I'll post it up on there, and we'll give you credit for that neat tip that you found. We all want to know as much as we can about our cars, and you guys have really helped that. So we got some good stuff coming on that, so make sure you stick around and hit that notification so you'll always know when I post a good video. That's going to be it for now, guys. Make sure if you haven't already, you hit that subscribe button so you don't miss when videos like this come out. And don't forget, please comment below. I know we miss a lot of things that you don't want to do with your car and things you do want to do with your car. So just put them down in the comments below, and I bet you're going to see it in the video. Guys, thanks so much for watching again. I'll see you guys on the next one.